Welcome back to the ABL review for Season 18, Week 6 of the East Division. Winding down on the season here. We finally got all the games in for the East Division. Didn't have any forfeits here, so that's very exciting. We get to move on. So let's talk about a guy who hasn't played in, this is his 2 weeks. He had 2 weeks off. We've got Tyler and the Oakland Galators taking on Curtis and the Miami Palafins. Curtis has been playing really well this season. I think the first 2 seasons he came in the league, he was really on top of shit, doing really well. And he took a little bit of time off, and he's come in. He's kind of had a hard time finding his footing, but he's been playing very well this season, despite having Mousehold on his team. So let's get into this battle. So we've got Iron Treads bopping the Tentacruel first turn with that Ice Spinner. Clearly, Tyler just not being familiar with what moves Iron Treads gets, feeling really comfortable there. Following up with Magnezone. I like this play here. Just because, okay, good, trapped, and he's onto the balloon, so we should be able to take anything, because this thing's probably got, Earthquake, Iron Head, Ice Spinner, especially if it's offensive. The only problem is it might have Volt Switch. So that's a little bit of a problem, because he can just Volt Switch out of here and he's not trapped. So that's why I don't like this play where he Terra's Water. But he does get the KO either way, so, to each their own. Volt Switch KOs the Magnezone. This is clearly a pretty offensive Rotom there, I think. That feels offensive. Mousehold's going to come in, go for Bite. Decent amount of damage, right? I don't think that's bad, especially on Skeledirge. But I feel like Skeledirge can get out of hand pretty quickly, and if you don't get more damage on it, because he follows it up with a U-turn here, after seeing it goes to +2, follows it up with the U-turn. Not a huge fan of that. I think there is an alternate world here, where Tyler follows up with a Flame Charge, and he could maybe sweep from here, honestly. If it was a Flame Charge on that other turn, and he still had a Terra here, there's some things that could go wrong for him. I'm excited to see Wo-Chen in a future season in someone else's hands. Tyler really has been struggling to make it work, and I do think there's room to make it work. We've got the Paldean Tauros come in here. Bulk Up is awesome right here because he's faster than literally everything. The problem is he's not faster than the Skeledirge, and the Bulk Up doesn't help here, but the Bulk Up on that turn in particular means he can KO anything that comes in that's not the Skeledirge, which it is kind of weird that Gallade came in and not Skeledirge. Skeledirge resists both of this thing's stabs. If it does set up, it can handle it pretty well. I don't get why that play happened, but Raging Bull's able to pick up a clean KO here. Now the Skeledirge comes in. Now he learns. Good play by Curtis there to go ahead and Volt Switch instead of Hydro Pumping. It maintains the momentum. Busting out the special Salamence here. See a Hurricane, mixed Salamence. I think we see it follow up. No, okay. I thought we see Dragon Claw from it later. Maybe I'm projecting. Because this thing, and then drops Draco Meteor. I really love Draco Meteor. And what are the other moves like that? Overheat, Leaf Storm. The nice thing about those against unaware Pokemon is they're basically always at full power, because not only do they ignore your boost, they also ignore your drops. The problem with Skeledirge being that it likes to turn into a fairy a lot of the time, so it actually resists all 3 of those when you think about it. I actually hate Skeledirge's little purple tongue. I just realized it. I don't like it. But that's just, Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Let me get back to that. Sorry guys. I'm a professional. There we go. So, knocks out the Skeledirge. Well done. Ursaring comes in. No, maybe. Okay, I don't. What's up with the Protect? Protect, I think, especially when this is a pretty offensive meta. Protect's a big trap move, I feel like. You can't just throw it on things randomly. I thought this was going to activate, Flame Orb or something. He was going to have Guts, or Toxic Orb, he was going to have Quick Feet, and then maybe he can Facade and start to threaten some things, but no, he just... Oh, never mind, he does, I forgot. But it's also weird seeing Ursaring in a metagame where we're not used to, like we're used to seeing Eviolite. I think it would have lived that had it not been Flame Orb. But also Flame Orb protect us and help there because you're still slower than pretty much everything on this team, barring Hatterene. It's tough. It's tough. Tyler not really getting a good handle on this generation's mechanics. Curtis doing a great job of it, and Curtis picks up yet another win. So we'll move on to our next battle. We've got Zeng taking on, I'd say like I would say the Cinderella story, but that doesn't really, just like, I don't know, maybe the surprise breakout performance of the season in Gibran. Rocking his Gen 6, Gen 7 looking team. I say, we've been saying Gen 6 just because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those mons are big time Gen 6, but you know, you got Toxapex here. It's very Gen 7, right? And then we've got Regenerator Core plus Hazards, plus good switch initiative and some offense. I like this balanced team that Zeng's bringing here. Regenerator's pretty hard to deal with. We see 3 Regenerators in this battle, so get ready for a long one. Just kidding, the offense goes out early. We've got Dragapult versus Garchomp here. Now, in the chat on Monday night, future rules on Terrestrialization were brought up again. We see it in a couple of games here. We see a lot of very early game Terras that take out that take out their opponents. Now, I'm really torn because like that's a great play to see that happen. Like Terra Fairy and then into the Dragon Claw, take the Draco Meteor. That's a good play. The thing that bums me out about Terrestrialization is I don't think that, like, I don't know how Zeng was supposed to plan for that. Like, it's hard to be, like, what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to not attack this thing in front of him? He doesn't know that it can turn fairy, or that Gibron's not going to want to turn something else fairy. It's so hard to, like, the only good play for Zeng to have made there is to U-turn on turn 1 against a Pokemon that he guarantees outspeeds and KOs. And then just U-turn and then see that he's Terra Fairyed and didn't take much damage, and then go into, I guess, Glamora or Moongus or something like that. I just feel like it's a lot to ask, especially in League format where you can kind of plan your Terras ahead of time. It's tough. I don't know. I want to see what people think about it, because I'm still open to changing the rules. We're definitely going to vote on it one way or another. Everything we voted on before this season, we're going to vote on again. So sorry for that rant. Let's get into the game, because it's a long one. I probably could have let it run for a little bit. So we get the Spore from Moongus, putting the Talonflame to sleep. Big deal. Keeps the Moongus in check there, but Gibran does burn the first turn of sleep there. So, where's Talonflame? There we go. 1 turn of sleep burned. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Let me fix this, guys. You've been having to. This is the second week in a row I forgot for the East to reframe it. But there, that's better. So, see the Talonflame burn to turn to sleep. It could potentially wake up next turn that it's in. That's really good for it. Glamora gets up the rocks. The spikes go up. Not that it really matters too much, because as soon as Toxapex comes out, it's just going to soak those up. But it's still nice to have while it's there. Low Kick's not doing nearly enough damage to this Garchomp, but Garchomp's isn't able to KO the Low Kicks because this is presumably a very defensive Garchomp. I like Zeng's use of the Regenerators here to be able to kind of Toxic Stall out a little bit. I like that. Now this is like really not a great position for him. Just in terms of like, he's lost Glamora. He's lost one of his biggest offensive threats to this team. He's got rocks and spikes up, but the spike is, I mean, I guess he did poison the Jolteon, but I don't think it's going to come into play super often. Because everything else, like, as long as the floor just doesn't get poisoned, because Toxapex will soak it up, Talonflame's off the ground, this is a Steel type, doesn't care. So the Toxapex, it's not like he wasted time putting it up, but really all he's got to show for those opening turns is, like, Garchomp did end up getting whittled down, but it cost him 2.5 Pokemon to do so. So he really has to try to keep his regenerators pretty healthy. As long as he finds opportunities to do that, I think he'll be okay. Talonflame Bird's another turn to sleep there. That's pretty important. Future Sight goes up. I like that play. And then Terra Ferrying here. Good call. Just to at least be able to get around that first Kowtow Cleave. You know, he really thought Body Press was going to KO. And I think if Zeng could go back and redo this, I think he'd probably rather have Terra Fighting, maybe. So that way he could definitely KO. I'm surprised this didn't KO, to be honest. Like, that did a lot of damage. But I don't know if he's not Fizz Def invested enough to be able to KO or what the deal is here. But unable to take out the Bisharp. But this unfortunately does open him up to being Kowtow Cleaved here. Now, he clearly did the calcs. Let's move forward. Ironhead, boom. 61%. Was able to live. That means he's going to be able to follow this up and KO the King Gambit. But he gets flinched. That really sucks. Because King Gambit would have been off the field. And that helps even things up for Zeng a little bit. I think that would have been worth the trade-off. However, he could have done what he does on, and then the Future Sight attack doesn't work, but that's fine. Could have done what he does on the next turn here and just gone Amoonguss. He would have been a little bit lower because he would have had one less turn of leftovers recovery. He would have been at 12% if he had just done this turn. Move turn 15 to turn 14, and Zeng's in a better position because, I mean, a slightly better position, I'd say. Because, as you can see here, he, Kowtow Cleave comes out, does more damage, and then, I guess it would have been the same. Yeah, but the flinch wouldn't have happened. Yeah, you didn't need to take that damage on Slowbro. Slowbro would have been a lot healthier if you hadn't left it in to take that Ironhead where it got flinched. Because also, look at the rest of this. Slowbro, as a fairy, matches up decently well, especially with Future Sight. Like, Toxapex, sure, can Sludge Bomb it, but it can at least get a Future Sight in the air, and then it's going to be able to switch around. Like, Toxapex's the only thing that threatens the Slowbro, and Amoonguss is able to switch in on Toxapex most of the time. So I do think that had Zeng played that turn a little bit better with the Rocky Helmet chip, then I think that he would have been a lot better set up going down the line. Because Slowbro would have been healthier, and Slowbro's not super threatened by the remaining things in this battle. Toxapex comes out, goes hard Slowbro. Really, really weird to me. Sure, Amoonguss can't really touch the Toxapex too much. You're trying to get a Future Sight up. But I think that was too aggressive of a play. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded if he wasted some turns sacking the low kicks, going into Slowbro, going into Amoonguss, going back into Slowbro, just to regenerate her up a little bit. Because like I said, Slowbro's in a decent position if it can live hits. And it takes the Sludge Bomb, gets poisoned. Really unfortunate. Because now I don't really think there's a way back for him. Just everything's a little bit too low. And I might be partially to blame for some of Zeng's issues here because we don't see Slack Off or Synthesis come out on Slowbro or Amoonguss in this. And last week I called out that I think those are redundant if you're able to switch enough. But he's also not switching here, so that's the other problem. So it is what it is. Like I like what Zeng's doing here, where he's starting to switch. But see, he could have switched again there. He could have switched back into Amoonguss and back into Slowbro. Could have kept doing that to get them regenerated up. And I think like that's not a fun way to play, but it's a very safe way to play. And Talonflame's gonna wake up here, go for the flamethrower. It's special, weirdly enough. Amoonguss is gonna be able to pick up the poison KO, but this Florges is offensive, maybe? No, it's not. Oh, right. This was okay. Ultimately, unnecessary. Because even if he got spored, I think Jolteon can come in and clean up with how low it is at that point. But really cool to see the safety goggles Amoonguss. Just very smart play from Jabron here. See, this is a high level play. This is a play that you would not expect to see from somebody who's just learning the format. Really well done. Impressed with Jabron here. little bit of a backslide in terms of level of play for Zheng this season, adjusting to the new metagame, adjusting to everything. Like, Terra is also just tough to deal with, and he fell behind really fast in this game because of Terra. But I guess we can move on to our next one, and oh boy, is it a long one. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on. Yeah, we're gonna put this on fast, and we're just gonna kind of see how things go. Sandy Shock's here versus Sylveon. Go ahead and do that. Yelling on the Crocalor to kind of pressure it, maybe get a K. Okay, awesome by like that was a really good move by Logan here, I think. Okay, so got the Volt Switch there. Sylveon's in. And it gets the yawn off on the incoming Crocalor. Either the Crocalor is gonna stay in and go to sleep, or the obvious switch is into Reverum. Logan makes a nice prediction there. And then this, I didn't notice this until now. This is entrapment, okay? Brett has bamboozled him here. He realizes that his Reverum is trapped. Really good double switch by Logan to get into that position. He choreographed this perfectly. And then Brett says, oh. And Logan's like, gotta be quicker than that. Implying that it's just like, Logan's one-upped Brett in this, which play-wise he did. It forced Brett to Terrastalize into a Grass type and KO the Dugtrio. This is the second time we've seen Dugtrio successfully trap something only to be bamboozled by Terra. Again, this is something, it's just like a really good play undone by Terastallization. I'm not a big fan of how this is going, but that's just my opinion. Some people might see this as just an evolution of good play, but Logan having to, like, because Logan's best play there is, I've trapped a Pokemon that is, with a good play, that is 4x weak to my stab move. And then my best play is to switch out and let him Terra into a Grass type. And I switch into something to waste that element of surprise. Insane ask, right? Like, Logan's best play there was to switch out. I feel like that's just creating a situation in which people are going to throw away good plays that they made in fear of Terra, or just become susceptible to it. And I guess the argument on the other side is just be like, well, he could make good plays with Terra. I feel like Terra is the gimmick. That shouldn't be the thing that we are promoting people to make good plays with. Good plays should come from just like the core mechanics of the game, prediction, items, abilities, things that are inherent to the Pokemon, and not the gimmick that's going to go away in 3 years. My opinion. Okay, but we'll get past it. We'll move on. Colossal comes in, honestly eats his Bulldoze really well. Goes and gets up a layer of spikes, and he's able to just go off and get a Will-O-Wisp here, which is going to make this Reverum less useful in the future. Off into Corviknight. You know, Brett did a good play there. Knew that the Colossal was not going to stay in. Fine, Sandy Shock's getting in here. Thunderbolt Para. First Thunderbolt of the game. First time Sylveon took a move that could Hax it. That's rough, because we've seen Logan lose games earlier this season, specifically to Sylveon getting Thunderbolt Para'd. It's really rough. Bad luck with Sylveon so far this season. My question is, why is Lurantis not your switch into Sandy Shocks? That seems really weird to me. Lurantis typically has access to recovery, at least in Giga Drain, even. And I think that it would have been better suited to take these, because it also resists both of these things stabs. I don't know why Lurantis wasn't the switch. And that's an ongoing issue we're seeing with Sylveon here in this battle, just a heads up. So, Wish goes up. He's going to go ahead and protect to catch it. Logan does get pretty lucky in this game. He doesn't get parried too bad too often, and then obviously there's a part coming up we'll talk about. But able to pass the Wish to Corviknight, make sure that's healthy. You can see the same thing come in here. Another Thunderbolt, a little bit of recovery, easy switch. So that's the thing, like Sylveon coming in on Sandy Shocks does no damage to Sandy Shocks, and it takes about 40+% each time. So I don't think Logan's liking what's happening here. Got the Fire Spin, and then so the Sylveon's trapped here, but he has a way to at least force the Crocolore out by putting him to sleep, which is going to help Sylveon's survivability. That's great. Fire Spin ends there, switches into Colossal on the parting shot. Logan taking advantage of Brett's aggressive gameplay to get in Colossal, which would have died had he gone for, I guess all he had was Terra Blast, Bulldoze, Parting Shot, Gunk Shot. He would have died to a Gunk Shot, or actually would have died to literally any attacking move, but Logan correctly switches in on a Parting Shot to be able to catch this Wish. Colossal, it's surprising the fact that it took, 2 ground moves and should be dead, but isn't. And again, I don't know why Sylveon's always the switch into Sandy Shocks. It seems weird to me. I don't think I'm the only one. We see another Wish go up. We're going to see Lurantis come in on this. And it gets Salt Cured. So this obviously threatens Garg. That's great. But you get the idea. You get what I'm saying. Okay, so see the Fire Spin come out. Colossal's trapped, 2 spikes up. Obviously, Brett does have a Rapid Spinner in Bramblegast and no way to block it over here on Logan's half of the field. I should probably let this speed up a little bit, because you guys and I both know this is a long battle. But now we see the Mud Slaps come out. It's super effective, 4x effective, and Logan's going to go for a 90% accurate move here with the Rock Blast. He should miss with these, because at this point, I think it's down to about 50% accuracy, but he does still manage to hit another one. Now, he's getting unlucky on these Rock Blast rolls. 3 hits and then 2 hits. If he got a little better, then Crocolore would be dead. Pretty unfortunate, but he is at least going to make this Crocolore burn a Slack Off here. That's what you want. You want to get these Crocolores out of Slack Offs. Fire Spin ends, and he's able to switch out, reset his accuracy, but now the Sylveon's trapped. But he's going to be able to Wish and Yawn and force this Crocolore out. Bramblegast is going to come in with the Heavy Duty Boots, so he doesn't take the Spikes damage. Corviknight comes in on the Leech Seed. Very good there. Rapid Spin clears away those rocks, so ended up not mattering, but able to get good damage on the Bramblegast with that Brave Bird. Garganacl is going to come in as Corviknight Roosts. Leech Seed's on the Corviknight, so it is going to diminish its livability here. Roaring Moon comes in, and this is Choice Banded Roaring Moon. U-turn there is great, because either the Lurantis stays in and it's dead, or something else comes in and Brett gets momentum, and that's what happens here. So see the Iron Defense go up and Salt Cure go off. No residual damage from the Salt Cure, so we know this is Covert Cloak Corviknight. Ooh, that's a tongue twister, don't like to say that. Body Press is going to come out, but of course because of Unaware and all that, you know how it goes. Sylveon's going to go ahead and it's just keep passing these wishes. Wishes are in. Look at that. Colossal, that's its 3rd Bulldoze it's taken. I think it's 4th ground move it's taken. I think it's taken exclusively ground type moves. And it's at 56% in this. That's pretty wild, I think. Okay, and then Corviknight. A lot of switching here. And honestly, like, the thing is, I know this is taking a long time. I'm not glossing over any of these plays, which seem kind of pedestrian plays. But at the same token, I do think these are good plays. These are really good plays. Yeah, but there's also this whole matter of just not really, like, we're not making. Yeah, they said it's not good television. It's a lot of the same stuff over and over again. But Logan lost his ability because if Brett hadn't made that Terra play, Revroom's dead. The opportunities for Crocolore or Sandy Shocks or Garganacl to additionally be trapped and KO'd are also increased. So it was a big move for Brett to do that. But again, I just don't know how you ask somebody who made a good play to trap a Pokemon to give up that trap in case there's a Terra. Because this game would be going a lot faster if Dugtrio was still around, because Logan's relying on his defensive Pokemon's abilities to keep him in the game. Colossal catches another Wish, and Sylveon again comes in on Sandy Shocks. Still don't get it. But also, I don't even know that it's gotten paralyzed yet. Purifying Salt from the Garg. Obviously trying to catch the Crocolore there. Salt Cure is going to come out. See a Roost from Corviknight? Yep, there we go. Let's put this on hyper fast, and we'll just kind of slow it down when we get to anything. I still don't get the, you know, I still don't get Sylveon coming out in Sandy Shock. Still seems weird to me. But honestly, again, has not really gotten bad luck with Paralysis. He's been very lucky in this battle so far. Yeah, Colossal, here we go. Now the Colossal's trapped on the switch. We're going to see Mud Slaps, and we're just going to see Spikes go back up. Yep. And we're going to start seeing Rock Blasts come out. Now, this goes on for a while. He doesn't miss a fucking Rock Blast. He's at half accuracy. These are like 40% accurate Rock Blasts. And he's burning off so many Slack Offs to do it also. He's willing to stay in and sack this Colossal just to whittle down this Crocolore and the Slack Offs that he's got. And he doesn't miss. He just doesn't miss. It's crazy. So, big turning point in the game. Let's slow it back down a little bit. See Iron Moth come in, Terrasilize Water, get the Quark Drive up. Iron Moth here, the fact that Crocolore is down, is in a great spot. Now, because it is faster than Sandy Shock, it's going to be able to KO it. Faster than Garganackle, going to be able to KO it. Faster than Brambleghast, going to be able to KO it. Faster than Revroom, going to be able to KO it. Iron Moth does learn Dazzling Gleam, I'm pretty certain. So all it has to do is live a hit from Roaring Moon, and Logan wins this. Or sometimes, in the past, Brett's been a little, what I would say, cavalier with some of his speed tiers. Sometimes he's just like, oh, I don't think he's going to run full speed on this, so I can run less than what would be full speed. I don't know, maybe I'll do a video on speed tiers in the future, and like my thoughts on them. Because some people understand what that means, and some people don't. So, but Brett goes hard into Roaring Moon, and we see the Choice Banded Crunch come out clean KO. I overestimated Iron Moth's bulk. I thought it's 80 HP and 60 defense. So it's an easy KO for it. So yeah. Corviknight comes in, which seems kind of weird to me. I figure you just put in Sylveon, but now Lurantis is finally here to take a hit from Sandy Shocks after all this time. Lurantis gets the contrary boost there. Obviously goes into Corviknight to dodge a Gunk Shot. Does he finally get the KO on Revroom? No, Parting Shot out into Sandy Shocks. Like, at this point, I don't know that Logan has much of a path to victory. He's fighting for it, but like the Iron Moth Gambit was kind of his last hope. We see a Paralysis coming here. That might be the first one of the game. Sylveon's gonna get this Wish up. Did he just try to catch it? No. He gets fully paralyzed there, but it was probably a Protect, let's be honest. Rapid Spin, clear that Spike. Another Wish goes up, probably gonna pass this over into the Corviknight. Oh no, stay in, get paralyzed. Again, probably on a Protect, so I don't think it's a huge deal. And plus, he already got super lucky by basically never getting paralyzed and always hitting those Rock Blasts, so I think it's okay. Takes down the Brambleghast, that's nice. Sandy Shocks comes in. Sylveon is again the switch in. I fail to understand why that is the case. Sylveon's gonna be able to fire off a Hyper Voice here and get good damage on something? No, fully parried. Gonna go ahead and Protect here, just get a little bit more recovery. I'm gonna go hard into the Corv, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put this on hyper fast again. I'm sick of torturing you guys with this because this is a long battle and it's a tough battle. There's good play in here for sure, but it's just a lot of the much of the same. Sylveon's never able to really get a Hyper Voice off on anything when it has the opportunity to. Roaring Moon's gonna come in, do the same U-turn play against Lurantis that did before. Corviknight surprisingly lives that, but all for naught. Sandy Shocks is gonna get some more damage on Lurantis. And then Roaring Moon's going to clean up there. So, that's the battle. Very good battle, very long battle. Unfortunately, not the longest of the week. So we'll talk about that, though, over in the West. But now it's time for our Marquee Match of the Week.
Marquee Match of the Week. Now we have a theme.
So this battle probably doesn't have the same high level of play that we just saw from the last battle, but it is mercifully shorter. So And still good plays. So we're gonna hop into it. All right, we open up with an exciting play. Good play, who's to say? So this Scarf Greninja, I think that's what obviously got Connor here. This Greninja must be Scarf, due to the fact that it was able to outspeed, because see, max speed, Meowscarada 379, Meowscarada Greninja 377. So it gets caught off guard there. Battle the fast Protean starters here. Greninja comes out on top here. Picks up an early KO. Spidops is going to come in against this Ceruledge. Connor sees this as a great opportunity to start setting up in front of the Spidops, but he's probably going to regret that because... Okay, sorry about that. That was a vibrate noise from my phone. Everyone, feel free to ignore that. So Bitter Blade's going to come out and knock this Spidops down to its Focus Sash, but he doesn't care. Spikes are going up, and he's just going to be like, I'll grab another Bulk Up, not a big deal. Another set of Spikes go ups. Now, we do find out later that I think this Heavy Duty Boots backs, Oricorio's off the ground, so it doesn't matter. But Espathra and Primeape. Primeape's usually Defiant. So it would have come in and gotten a +2 attack increase from that Sticky Web. But, just spoiler alert, it's not. It's Vital Spirit or Anger Point or something, which is... Connor, clean that up. Button that up. Don't like it. Greninja's going to come in, try to get the KO with the Surf here, but good defensive Terra from Connor there. Take care of it. Yeah, but then Charizard's going to come to the Hurricane. It's hard to suspect offensive Charizard like this, especially going Terra Fire to get this Overheat KO. I gotta say, really liking how much use Papkun is getting out of Terra, or sorry, just Charizard in general here. I feel like it's a mon that I was just like, oh, this is worse than it was before, but I think he's using it exactly how it should be used with its current moveset, and he's using it to great effect. Okay, so here's some stuff not used to great effect. You ready for this? So, got this Will-O-Wisp. You gotta know, you gotta understand. Now, here's a truly baffling thing. Baxcalibur's gonna Dragon Dance. That's not that baffling. But you see that Papkun looked up what Thermal Exchange was and saw that this Pokemon's attack is raised by 1 when damaged with fire moves, and this Pokemon can't be burned. And he's just like, that's fine. I'm -2 special attack. I'll give it another attack boost in exchange for 40% of its health. That seemed weird to me. But we're gonna, if this had been Earthquake Baxcalibur, it wins from this spot. Alas, it is not. Just gonna come in and get KO'd by the Goldengo. And honestly, at this point, I don't know if Connor has too much of a way back depending on his Espathra moveset. Did the Primeape come out? It's not Defiant, as I said. Kind of unfortunate. But, because that would have clean KO'd the Goldengo. And then Great Tusk is going to come out, be able to take these hits. And then it's just going to slowly whittle down this, got the knockoff, and I think it follows up with a Headlong Rush, yeah. And the Espathra is going to come out, have the immediate speed drop here because of the Sticky Webs. Going to get knocked off. What did it have? Had leftovers. Must be a pretty bulky one, but gets a Dazzling Gleam KO and a speed boost. Now, the only way it's winning from this spot is if it has... Protect Shadow Ball, but also if it has Protect Shadow Ball, then I don't think it can KO the Iron Thorns, unless it goes for inaccurate moves. I don't know. No, I guess this Espathra maybe needed a different moveset to come out. And we see the Roost come out, so it doesn't have enough room for any other moves. But Papkun gets a big quick win there. Let's hop over to the Google sheet and we'll look at the MVP thing. Tauros Fire got 3 KOs. Toxapex also got 3 KOs. I was torn which one to give it to, but Fire Tauros, you gotta put him on the thumbnail, right? By the way, if people haven't been noticing, that's what I've been doing. If it gets MVP, it goes on the thumbnail. I hope people noticed at this point. Season kill leaders. Salamence, I think it got 1 this week. Charizard gets another couple. And Garganacl also in the running there, along with his teammates Sandy Shocks and Roaring Moon. Pretty tight race for the MVP of the East here. with 1 week remaining, and then also playoffs. And I think Papcoon and is it Curtis who has Salamence? Yeah, I think so. They are both in position to play more games than Brett right now, so might kind of scooch up the leaderboard. Also, with Doug Trio getting absolutely bamboozled by Terra Grass, I think this is the second time this season. Doing pretty well here. Season Death Leaders, Baxcalibur is the champion of this category. Not that it's something you want. Can I make this look nicer? If I do this? No, that's terrible. Yeah, that looks a little better. So not really something you want, but Baxcalibur, if it comes to one more game and faints one more time, it'll be the Iron Man of the season. So yeah, there's that. But let's head over to the standings and see what's going on over there. Okay, so you can see I underline these two teams here. That is because they have clinched a first round bye to the playoffs. So both of these teams will be in the ABL North next season. That's another thing I want to touch on. I've talked to a couple people. Sounds like some people might not be coming back for next season. That's fine. But I said anybody who makes it to the playoffs, like the 8 teams that are in the final playoffs, will be in the ABL North. It looks like right now that I can't guarantee that. So what I will say is if you finish with a 1 or a 2 seed, you're guaranteed in the ABL North. If you play your way in, then yeah, you're first on the list. But if we end up cutting it back to maybe 6 teams in the North, 6 teams in the South, we'll have to examine people that get cut. But if you are a 1 or a 2 seed, guaranteed a spot in the ABL North. So Jabron will be in the ABL North next season, as will Brett. Not that anyone's surprised that Brett's there, but, you know, he's done it. And interestingly, these two guys play next week. So neither of them are going to be knocked out of playoffs or out of the North or whatever, but it is for the number 1 seed in the East. So that should be fun to watch. Oakland Galators have fallen entirely out of playoff contention. The Storm Lake Dracozolt also fallen out of contention here. Because Minnesota, even if Minnesota loses and Storm Lake wins, Minnesota still holds the tiebreaker, so it won't be able to jump them there. But everything else is a real crapshoot. Don't know how it's going to go, but let's head over to the schedule and see if we can figure some things out. So, Miami's playing Storm Lake. What does Miami have to play for? Miami wants to get a win to try to stay in that 3 spot. Who's Texarkana? Yeah, Texarkana's got Oakland. They're on track to be able to beat them. If that happens for them, good for them. Like I said, Zeng's having a down year, so Alabama could win there. All 3 of these teams could win, but if these 2 teams win and Miami loses, Miami drops. I think then they're all tied in record. So who owns tiebreakers there? Oh, Miami. So Miami's locked up a 3 seed, I think? I think that's true. So Miami only has to play 1 more game to get into the to make it to the playoffs. As far as I think, Zeng is locked into this 6th seed, so he'll be playing. Who's he playing again? Logan. So if Logan wins and Pap wins, I think Pap jumps Logan because he has the tiebreaker here. You see, so. We might potentially be getting an immediate rematch here between these 2 teams in the opening round of the playoff. So something to look out for. But I think that... Oh, and then ad drops. Curtis did make some last-minute ad drops at the end of the season here. This isn't... I still don't like how this is framed. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to figure this out one day. Okay, so... He dropped Mousehold, Iron Jugulus, Zoroark, and Cacturn. Mousehold, good. Bad Pokemon. Iron Jugulus... Honestly, the fact that these 2 are in the same tier, absolutely wild to me, right? Mousehold's a bad Pokemon. Iron Jugulus seems... I'm still low on it. Still has problems, but much better Pokemon, I think objectively. Zoroark, since he picked up another special attacking Dark type, no longer needed Zoroark. And he saw Brute Bonnet and decided to go with that, and that's why he dropped Cacturn. You don't need two grass Dark types, and decided to go with Ice-Q. Ice-Q's a Pokemon I've been looking for to have a big breakout sweep, and it's yet to happen. Maybe Curtis can pull it off here at the end of the season. But that's all of our coverage of the East this week. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you to Brett for the work he does in the doc. Thank you for D24 Designs for these logos. But I think that's it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.